6:21, June 22nd. So apparently today's the first day that Mercury goes direct. I didn't know that was going to happen today. I haven't meditated. I got home late. Haven't done my spread this week. Got home late. My place is a mess. I'm in the middle of packing. Going to San Francisco. And but so I had this realization. Well, okay, a couple things that have come up, and I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because it's a theme. And you know me and themes. But basically what's happening, or what I've noticed so far, it's only Monday, right? But over the last few days. Okay, no, wait. So I didn't really plan this out. I don't usually plan them out, but so I was getting ready and I had this, someone reached out to me yesterday, and this was a junior high conocida, acquaintance, friend, maybe, at some point. I went to a very small junior high school. It was in a small city. You know, usually your cities have your rivals, right? You have your rival schools, high schools mostly, junior highs sometimes if it's small enough. In this particular community that I grew up in, that was the case. And a new school opened up, and it was a school that had, it was like the first of many type of charter schools nowadays. There weren't charter schools back then, and so this was kind of like that first flavor of it, where you had to, in order to get in, it was by lottery, and then once you got in, your siblings were able to get in faster. Very small, 12 classrooms large. And it was from 3rd grade all the way to 6th grade. And then as the years advanced, it ended up encompassing junior high as well. So it really was an opportunity for all of the schools in that city to kind of have this middle common ground almost. I share that just because of this whole duality concept. But anyways, so one of those childhood acquaintances reached out because she saw one of my posts. Reached out out of concern. It's happened before. And you know, I responded back, you know, it helps to watch this from the beginning, because then you have the whole picture. Otherwise you just have a snippet of a moment in time. And so I encouraged her to go back. And then of course it became about religion, and she encouraged me to read the Bible. I said, oh yeah, got that one down, right? And then I offered, just as she made an offer, I counter offered. And I said, you know, I'd love to have this conversation, continue this conversation with you for the sake of just having the conversation and an opportunity to reconnect. She loved that idea too. So we're going to do that. I told her, I'm going on a business trip to San Francisco this week, and how about when we get back? But it made me think about, you know, she was concerned. She was concerned. And then I remember thinking about high school and about reunions. And it just so happened that someone else had told me this weekend that he was invited to some type of small reunion that a friend of his had put together, and there was a certain impression that he had about the event itself, and then the determination that he was going to have a good time. And so I sensed that there was a piece of like, oh, don't want to interact with people I don't like. And you know, that's oftentimes the case. That's oftentimes the case, right? When we get triggered by other people. And the whole goal of this process for me is to get to that point where I can be around other people regardless of their thoughts, beliefs, to the point where I don't get triggered. That's not the whole point of it, but that's now becoming one of the key factors of this whole healing process, right? Because in order to heal, right, in order to have this sense of community and this sense of unconditional love of self and others, right, there has to be a certain level of acceptance for what is, without judgment, without the duality, right? And in order to do that, you have to be okay with being next to a person that you at one point despised, right? If we go to one extreme. And have that same neutral feeling standing next to another person that you love, right? Or that you're used to loving, whatever that loving definition, however that is defined by you. Because I even remember too, like, I mean, I never went to a high school reunion, but the thought of it always brought some sense of uneasiness, of like, ugh, be judged, right? And or I'm gonna judge others, like, what's the gossip, what's the scoop? And so there's always this level of insecurity, and or this level of like, I'm the shit, right? And people are gonna see that I'm the shit. People work out for these events, right? People try to transform their lives so that they can come back to these events and say, look at me now, I've changed. Or you can just, if you were the shit in high school, then you're like, you know, you strut your stuff going in thinking you're still it. There's that possibility too. And so there's a point to that. Yeah, I think the point is being triggered by people when you know that you don't want to be around them. And then there's a difference too. There's a difference between not wanting to be around them because of how they are or how it makes you feel, but then just the exhaustion of the energy output, right? The exhaustion of having to exert energy. But again, that's only if you're triggered. Unless it's like physical energy. Because then, I mean, you can stay in one spot and the world can go on around you, but you can still harness your energy and be neutral and not be triggered and still be okay. This other person sent me a link once about being a social introvert or something like that, and it totally made sense for me. And he even said that was like him, and I said, that's weird, because that's like me too. Or I can do social events for so long, but then I need to retreat. I need to go back to me and bring the energy back to me and do the things that I like to do by myself. So just interesting. And I think to some degree, we're all like that on this pendulum, right? But anyway, so just this junior high acquaintance reached out, and it triggered that in me, and then I was thinking about, you know, high school, and then this is the news. It's just this other realization that I had this morning. So in essence, it was tied into this acquaintance because she was judging. In essence, there's a certain level of judgment, right, with these videos that people are going to have, and I've mentioned it before, that it's going to trigger people, right? People are either going to be in alignment with what I say, and it's going to resonate, or they're going to be completely triggered, right? And say, oh, you're going down the wrong path. And that's what she said. She said, because she made reference that I should read the Bible. I said, oh yeah, been there, done that, right? And then she sends me this message that says, then you are aware that what's stated in the Bible is not in alignment. What did she say? You must know then that the philosophy of life you believe in does not align with His word. And then she goes on to say, we all have a choice and whatnot. It does not align with His word. Does not align with His word. It's interesting when we quote the Bible. Because I was even thinking about that in the shower. I always have moments in the shower, I'm just like, but I was thinking about it in the Bible, and I'm just like, I'm sure she's probably going to give me, Bible verses, right? A lot of people do that. But the thing is, we have to look everything in context. We can't just pull out, pick and choose. And to a certain degree, right? I've mentioned it before. Someone once said, are you trying to disprove the Bible? No, I'm not. There's truth in it. There's truth in it. But like I mentioned before, it was written by man. So there's always going to be an element of perception, of bias, of error even, in how the message is being communicated, regardless of where the influence came from. And my search is to find the balance within those words, right, of faith. I was reminiscing on this process of video recording myself. And for those who didn't watch from the beginning or haven't, this is really just a diary entry, right? Of me in the moment as things come to me, as things unfold for me, as I'm experiencing things that I've never experienced before. And then it dawned on me about this diary entry. And I remember growing up, and I remember attempting various times to do journal entries, to journal. And every time that I tried to journal, I would get exposed. Whether it was a sibling, whether it was a friend trying to be funny, exposing me in front of my parents by reading my diary, and that mean feeling immobilized, feeling stuck, not being able to protect my truth. Every time, I tried because I wanted to be I remember I wanted to be a writer, and journaling was like that first step, right? You just journal, just write. And every time I tried, bam, it was like I'd get the door and I was exposed. And I remember just this discomfort with that. And now I'm looking at what I'm doing, and I'm like, that's why that happened. It was in preparation for this exposure of my personal life. It's funny when you reflect on things and you put on a different pair of glasses to look at it, and then you see it in a different way. There was so much embarrassment about that, and now there's none. It's all out there, and it's liberating, and it's free. So I just wanted to share on that realization of my past, a past memory that I was like, whoa, that's right. I tried to hold the diary, and every time I did, I kept getting exposed. And I always wondered why. Why couldn't I just keep a diary? I mean, even at my the last time not the last time, but in terms of my adolescence, I was 15 years old. And my diary got broken into. And that was a level of trust that really just hurt so much. Because I'd never given this individual any reason to not trust me. She was just curious. And then I ended up getting in trouble because I ended up doing something I wasn't supposed to do. Which maybe I'll share for another time. But I kept a diary in my marriage. I think that was the last time where I felt, unless it was seen without me knowing. I'll never know. But anyways, I need to get ready. I need to go to San Francisco. I'm a little nervous. A little smudge. Just a smudge. Just a little smudge. It's a little smudge. New beginnings, right? Kind of see where this path takes me. Ending the transition into something new. So we'll see. Next time. Hi. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you,